In tonight's Moneyline, stocks staging a modest rebound from yesterday's massive sell-off on signs today of progress in Europe's debt crisis and an unexpected decline in jobless claims. The Dow Jones Industrial's up 113 points, the S&P up 11, the Nasdaq added 3.5 points. The market gaining some momentum after Italian bond yields retreated from their record heights. Greece named a new prime minister, and Standard & Poor's said it had not trimmed its debt rating for France. That's now considered good news. And here in this country, the Labor Department reporting initial jobless claims fell to 390,000, dropping by 10,000 from the previous week. This is the lowest level since April. And Cisco Systems gaining more than 5% after the networking company reported fiscal first quarter earnings and revenue beating Wall Street targets. Joining me now, tonight's market master, Denny Striegel. He's the former CEO of Verizon Communications, a former president of Verizon. Great to have you with us.
Nice to be with you.
He's also the author of the new book, Managers, Can You Hear Me Now? Hard-hitting lessons on how to get real results. Man, if we needed real results, we're getting them right now. I mean, you look at corporate America, people are not paying, some people at least I should say, are not paying a lot of attention. But I mean, we're looking at some outstanding earnings reports coming out of corporate America.
Lou, what you're seeing on the bottom line is not the whole picture. When you think about it, what's occurring today is the top line revenues are basically off from what they were 2 years ago. So what corporations have to do in order to make the bottom line and to please their shareholders is cut whatever costs they possibly can. Part of cutting that cost, unfortunately, at times, is headcount. People are losing their jobs.
And yet we see the number of layoffs are projected now to have stabilized at least through the fourth quarter. There's some good news on that. And we're looking at an unemployment rate that actually dropped all the way down to 9%.
Well, you know, Lou, first of all, I'm not sure that we should be at all giddy about the number that was announced this morning. As I listened to some of these reports today, I felt it a bit comical that we are so happy that 390,000 people have filed for unemployment. That's crazy.
This is, wait. This is not just a one-day occurrence. We're talking about the best performance since April. And we've got a market reacting to, instead of 400,000 jobless claims, 390,000. And the business press, in all of its varied forms, is going along like ducks in a line saying, you know, this is boffo stuff.
Current course and speed, the unemployment figure will still be over 8.5% same time next year. Yeah. I mean, we're making very, very little progress.
And I'm one of those guys, as you know, Denny. I'm awful tired of hearing CEOs tell me just how uncertain they are about the future. I'm tired of hearing why they haven't repatriated capital. I'm real tired of policymakers in Washington who are saying, you know, we just happen to have 9% unemployment rate. We just happen to have 25 million Americans out of work, underemployed, or given up getting a job, and not talking about the real issues behind those huge, massive numbers and the pain they represent. And I'm talking about both political parties.
Okay, now you're tired of hearing about the uncertainties. All right, so let me go. The demand in the marketplace isn't there. What are corporations going to hire for? Companies do not create jobs. Consumers do. When consumers buy, we see companies hire.
What if I say to you, Denny, that I think that's wrong? I think business creates jobs, and I think they do so with a product and a service that they know can drive the market. And I can't think of an exception to that. For example, I could think of Verizon Wireless. You know, you created products early on. You didn't have a market for it. You created markets. Great business creates markets and creates demand. And I'll point to Apple Computer. I'll look to IBM. I'll look to General Motors, which is an example of the other.
All right, I'm going to disagree with you slightly in this regard. The fact of the matter is that in this market environment, customers are not spending.
Right.
This is not the creation of wireless technology.
Do we think they should?
How can they?
Exactly. So why isn't business talking about what to do in a new environment?
Look, what new environment? The values of people's homes have gone down substantially. Their 401ks are getting depleted. What is business going to do to create? Look, there are plenty of companies that are making money. I agree with you. Right. There are no companies, to my way of thinking, that are truly hoarding money, which is what
I didn't use that word.
Okay, no, you didn't, but there are several who do, and particularly coming out of the administration.
Well,
that's not.
I'm a free enterprise capitalist. I'm not
Okay,
one of those.
All right. Well, the fact of the matter is that companies will begin hiring again when we see, I'm sorry to use the word, more certainty in the marketplace.
Look,
what we have hanging over our heads today is potential for more taxes, Obamacare, more regulation. That's the uncertainty that business talks about.
I sympathize with the fog of competition. I sympathize with the uncertainty of headwinds that are apparent and opportunities that sometimes are not. But what I don't sympathize with is a business community right now and a political establishment that's not willing to talk about why is it that we're truly in this situation. I hear reduced regulation, reduced taxation from the conservatives and the Republicans, and I hear from the Democrats, hell, let's spend another few more $1 trillion and stimulate and run up the debt some more. We have done all of that over the course of the past 10 years, haven't we? And the result is where we are today.
Lou, businesses are taking plenty of risks in this environment. AT&T buys T-Mobile. Boeing tries to open a new plant in South Carolina. Sprint takes on the iPhone.
Then how about doing this? How about taking the risk of speaking honestly to the American people about business practices that destroy jobs, that don't create wealth, actually transfer wealth, instead of building a knowledge base, actually transfers a knowledge base, and let's get real about what we've got to do to build our middle class instead of destroy it.
I don't disagree with one word you said there.
Great.
But we need a healthy environment in order to do it as well as we can.
What if I said, we've got to create that healthy environment, and the first way we do it is we clear away the debris that is created by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the Business Roundtable, and the other lobbying organizations, and yes, the AFL-CIO, the Teamsters Union, the Democratic Party, and the Republican Party leaderships, and say, you know, we're going to really focus on the people that count, the middle class.
All right, let's clear the debris. I totally agree with you in that regard. But let's create an environment that works for the benefit of businesses growing stronger. Instead of just talking about it, let's do it.
Okay, what do you want to do?
Here's
if you say lower taxation and lower regulation, we're back at the beginning.
Lou, 35% tax rate, the highest of developed countries around the world. You want to talk about cutting our trade deficit? Cut the darn taxes.
Cut the taxes? And that'll cut the trade deficit.
That it will help.
How about we start?
It will help in a big way.
We've run way over. Here's my, if I may, my counter proposal to you, Denny. How about this? Why don't we start manufacturing products and creating services that are compelling, and actually export them to those free trade partners of ours all over the world. You know, China, Germany, France, the UK.
I'm with you, and let's do it at a lower tax rate.
You know, taxes, they mean nothing. They mean nothing to us. We'll take them down to nothing because we're going to reduce the size of government. We're going to need all that money.
Now you're talking.
Thanks, Denny Swiggle. We'll be right back. Thank you.